The Missing Manatee Epilogue. So, in case you're not familiar, epilogues are kind of like a chapter, but they come after the end of the book. So, the author has resolved the plot, the mystery is solved, or whatever it is, but they're kind of adding something extra, something that it's kind of like the cherry on top or the bow on the gift. It's just wrapping it up just a little bit more. Sometimes epilogues can take place a little bit after the end of the book and kind of give you a little bit more resolution. It just depends. So here we go. Here's the epilogue for Missing Manatee. Here's the paper handed in to Mr. Giordano. He wants me to change a few things, but mostly he seemed to like it. He wrote, "Very original," in the margin, and "Good idea," and "I'd like to meet your Meemaw." When I showed that to Meemaw, she told me to invite him to the next karaoke night at the River Haven Grill, 'cause she's planning on singing. Skeet Waters, English, Mr. Giordano. My pet peeve, or the Skeet Waters Golden Moon menu method of growing yourself up. First draft. My pet peeve is the way grown-ups always ask kids, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" Half the time they just want to tell you what they think would be good for you. Or else they're being polite, waiting for you to say, "A doctor," or "a lawyer," or "a grave digger," so they can say, "Oh, isn't that nice?" and go talk to somebody else. But saying what job you'll have doesn't tell anything about who you'd really be. I mean, isn't it more important to know what kind of grave digger you would be? Would you be the kind who leaned on a shovel half the day and dug the holes only 3 feet deep instead of 6? Or the kind who yelled at kids who cut through the cemetery on their way to school? Would you be the kind who chopped worms in half with a shovel when you came across them? Or the kind who placed them gently on the dirt pile? It also bugs me when people say, "You're the spitting image of your father," or "You certainly are your mother's son." It sounds as if you and your mom or you and your dad are exactly the same, which you're not. It also sounds as if you don't have any choice about it, which you do. From now on, people who ask me what I want to be when I grow up had better be ready to hear about the Skeet Waters Golden Moon menu method of growing yourself up. The way it works is this. You make columns headed with the names of people you admire. If you feel like it, you can add people you don't really know, but know about, like maybe Abraham Lincoln or Mother Teresa or Tiger Woods. You can even put in characters from books or movies, as long as the characters seem real to you. Animals are okay too. So you write down the names, as many as you want. Then, under each person's name, you write traits about him or her that you have observed. You can't use boring adjectives such as nice or bad, which don't really mean anything. You can use groups of words. For example, under the name Abraham Lincoln, you might put, "Read lots of books, even though he had to walk far to get them and there was hardly enough light in his log cabin to see," which explains what you mean better than the word determined. Although, now that I think of it, that's a perfectly good word and you could use it if you wanted to. You write down bad stuff about the person too, if there is any bad stuff. So you have your columns with people's names at the top and characteristics about them under their names. Put together, the columns represent the great menu of life. It's sort of like the menu at the Golden Moon Chinese restaurant, which is right here in Chattahoochee Springs. Your plate, when it's full, represents the person you want to be someday. It's a combination plate. You get to pick the things you want and skip the things you don't want. At the Golden Moon, you can only pick one thing from each column, but since this is real life, you get to pick as many as you want. If you don't want anything squirmy on your plate, it's up to you. You are the customer and the customer is boss. Here's how I would do it, just as an example. 2 people I admire are my Meemaw and a guy named Dirty Dan. Meemaw, now, there's somebody I hope to be like when I grow up, so I would choose a lot of traits for her from her column to put on my plate. She has what she'd probably call a talent for happiness. She's funny and honest and a real good singer. Dirty Dan, well, he's a great fisherman, which I also plan to be someday. There are a lot of other good things about him that I would choose, like he's brave and patient. And he tries real hard to take care of his son, who has something wrong with his brain and needs somebody to watch out for him. His son is a person I admire too, along with his dog, because they're always together, and that's one of the good things about them, the way they're loyal to each other, and happy doing dumb stuff together. Even in people you admire, you might notice some bad traits. For example, Dirty Dan has one real bad habit. It causes lots of problems in his life. That habit of his would be listed in a column under his name, but I wouldn't put it on my plate. See how it works? If you make the right selections from the great menu, you end up being the person you want to be. Not your mom or your dad or grandparents or even your heroes, but just the right combination of all of them. I recommend my Golden Moon method. Try it. And that's the end. All done. All right. Well, what did you think, guys? Feel free to comment on the link here in Teams and let me know what you thought of using Manatee. Okay, bye.